Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm filming my highlights of 2020 video, and I definitely did not think I would be filming this video just because of everything that has happened this year. But as I was thinking about it, I realized that 2020 has been so different for each and every one of us, both individually and collectively. And I didn't want 2020 to be remembered as just the year of the corona pandemic. So let's do this. As usual, I started the year with a post on Instagram setting my intentions for the year. And this is what I wrote. This year is going to be the one where I do what I have to do with all my heart and then just see what happens. No doubts, no fears, and no looking back. There was no way when I wrote this I could predict what the year held for me and for everyone. But I think looking back, that's what I did this year. I did what I had to do with all my heart, and I didn't give it any second thought. And I think that is one of the biggest highlights of 2020 for me. Now, the year began very normally. I went on a trip to Jaipur to visit one of my oldest and bestest friends, Kanika. I remember thinking at that time that 2020 was going to be the year of India travel for me, like travel within India for me, and boy was I wrong. But anyway, I was glad I started my year with that. And then in February, I went to Bombay for a work conference, and again, I got to meet one of my friends there and just catch up over dinner. I got to have some great coffee in Yerkad in February. I got to visit a lot of our community centers where we do work from the Jethro Trust and spend time with those people and those children. I celebrated my grandmother's 80th birthday in Chennai with family. And then I got on what would be my last flight in 2020. And when I landed in a world where the realities of COVID-19 or Corona were just hitting us. We realized that we were no longer immune to that virus regardless of where we were in the world. Little did we know what was in store for us. Little did I know what was in store for me. And that was just the beginning of March 2020. In a few weeks, we went into problem solving mode where we had to figure out a life, where we had to protect ourselves from a virus that was literally making its way through countries and still find a way to run our business. What came next was a lot of late nights, a lot of early mornings where we spent a lot of time trying to plan and execute remote working. So shout out to all the VTNs who are watching this video for all your contributions to ensuring that things happen smoothly even though things were uncertain, and that we came out the other end of 2020 stronger and better than what we were before. Work, obviously, was a major part of my life in 2020, and I don't think for a second that I regret that or I complain about that. I worked, in addition to my usual work, I worked with the HR team this year. I worked with training and development this year. I had 2 people reporting to me directly from September onwards. And it was a learning in itself. And now when I look back at 2020, one of the things I realized that I did was I just did anything that came my way and anything that I saw and anything that I felt that I could contribute to, and I just picked it up and did it, whether somebody asked me or not. And I think that was one of the massive reasons why 2020 has been such a steep learning curve for me, is because I just took everything that was in front of me and I did it. Definitely looking back, realized that I probably did things that were never in my job description, but I don't think again that I regret it. I think that it was something I needed to do and something I have gained so much out of. If there's one thing I would like you to take from this video, is the fact that there are opportunities all around us. There are opportunities all around you. And sometimes they don't look like opportunities, they look like more work. But honestly, if you see those opportunities and you hold on to them or grab onto them, I think they can honestly change your life. And that's what it did for me this year in 2020. Work from home was another reality through this whole process, right from the end of March when India went into lockdown. And my introvert self is really happy with this whole setup. But I've had more meetings, more video calls, more phone calls than I've ever had in my professional life. And so I don't know whether I can really say that I was my introvert self throughout. I had it pretty easy this year. I know that 2020 was not the best year for a majority of people. I cannot not acknowledge that because I was in a privileged position and I really understood that. I really understood what my privilege could do in a time like this. And I was so grateful, so grateful that I got the chance to spend this whole time with family till date with my parents. And this is actually the longest I have continuously lived with them since I was 16, and that has been a blessing. I didn't think I could do it, honestly. I have not lived with people for so long, so continuously, but I think I adjusted well and I actually enjoyed it. And through all this, one of the things that honestly I believe saved my life was running. And I was grateful for the little patch of garden outside my house where I could go running, because if that wasn't there, I would have gone insane. I took all my pent up energy, all my whatever I had within me, and I put it into running. And I just literally ran my heart out in 2020. I crossed my regular running goal, which I have never crossed over the I don't know how many years I've been running now, since college. I invested in some good running shoes, I invested in AirPods, and I just ran as much as I needed to. And I think that was something that saved me through 2020. I continued posting on social media, on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, but I didn't obviously do it consistently just because there were so many things happening. But I did record my last trip before lockdown. I did a quarantine vlog just so that I could remember, like look back and remember how were those days when I was just at home, couldn't go out, everything was locked down. So I think that was something that I'm very happy I did. I continued reading, though I think I read more fiction than non-fiction this year, just because I think real life was already too real. I didn't want to get into reality as much. And I think that's why even the TV shows that I watched or the movies that I watched were more centered on like fantasy, happy things rather than reality, crime, those kind of things. I used this time to focus on the little things, on the little habits that I had developed in the past year, especially, or over the past years. As I said, I was running, I was eating healthy because we were at home and so we were cooking a lot more. I was spending like time with myself, with God, just being quiet. I was writing a lot. I did all these small things to kind of ground me and just keep me focused on something, because I had something to put all my energy in. I just was able to manage, and not only manage, I think I was able to thrive even in this situation where we were so cut off from everything. When we started lockdown or when quarantine started, I made these mood vision boards, and I don't think I looked at them quite often. I just made them and kept them, thinking that this is what I'm going to focus on during these next 3 months before my birthday. I think that was my plan: April, May, June. And when I looked back today at those boards, I think they capture the essence of 2020. They capture the essence of what I did. Not exactly, but they captured the mood. I then ended the year in Ooty for a much needed break, because through 2020, right from March, I think I was always on. I didn't get a chance to shut off as much, and I think I needed this break because by that time I was like just done with the whole 2020 year and the pandemic and everything. Just being able to sit in a place away from this room of mine where I spent a lot of 2020 in, I was able to just look back at 2020, reflect on the year, and then set my vision for 2021, which was very important to me because I didn't want to kind of flow into 2021 with no idea what was ahead. because I actually don't have any idea of what's going to be ahead, like externally, but having that end of year was very important for me. So to summarize, 2020 was a year of extreme external upheaval, but it was also the year of inner stability, where I realized that I could rely on what matters to me the most to carry me through anything. I realized through this year what my strengths were, I realized what I was capable of, and that imposter syndrome that I had, that would shout at me constantly for so many years of my life, has become a silent whisper in 2020. And I think that is the biggest gift that 2020 has given me, is to reduce the volume of that imposter syndrome. Thank you for joining me on this journey of recapping my 2020. If you haven't already, I would really encourage you to recap your own year, just to have this one thing that you're grateful for in 2020 on your mind. Thank you for spending your time watching this video and listening to me share about my life, and I'll see you in my next video.